Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of SUGTalks. I'm Craig Dale, your host, and together with our special guests, we'll take a deep dive into the topics, challenges and opportunities facing SAP users today. Please make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode. I'm delighted today to be joined by Uwe Grigoleit, Senior Vice President of the Customer Evolution Program at SAP. So welcome, Uwe.
Thanks for having me, Craig.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And today we're going to be discussing SAP's Customer Evolution Program, looking at what it is and how you can take advantage of it. And just before we get into that, Uwe, and even though we're recording this close to the start of the year, I'm not actually going to ask you if you have any New Year's resolutions, but I am interested as to whether you have any major goals or objectives for the year ahead and what they are. And while you have a think about that, I suppose mine are to plan ahead a little bit more for more rest and relaxation with friends and family. I often find that, time gets away with you and you get caught up in the world of business and you forget you need time to rest and recover. So I'm planning to do a lot more planning, I suppose, ahead to do that. And from a business perspective, the main aim for me is to grow and add more value to our UK&I sub-community. So, Uwe, do you have any goals and objectives for the year ahead?
That sets the level bar already quite high. No, I mean, if I distinguish in the same way from my personal, my private life, and then also my professional life. On my personal side, I decided on something for this year, and this is regarding my CO2 footprint. Because we're living in a challenging world, as we all know. We are also living in a world where climate change is really an important topic to take care of. And even so, I'm already driving an electric car. I'm already living in a flat that is a minimum energy house, how you call it, right? I also said, okay, nevertheless, I've done all of these things already. Let's see what I can do on top. So I started now already in the first days of the year to consult a few applications, right, that are showing you your CO2 footprint, and to identify what are the areas where I can do even a little bit more, right? And sometimes it's interesting to see, because then all of a sudden they're asking you, how many times are you eating outside? And I was saying, this is really important for my CO2 footprint, and actually it is, right? So that's what I put as a plan out, as a KPI for myself for this year. That the level set I'm doing now should be something different, hopefully at the end of the year, with some measures I will apply. And and on the professional side, the Customer Evolution Program that we will talk a lot more about now in the next minutes here. This program, we launched back beginning of last year, and so what I would like to do this year is really to, after all the initiation phases we had in 2022 with the program, to really implement a change and really get traction with the program with our customers. So that's my main objective here for 2023 in terms of what I would like to achieve at SAP.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that, Uwe. And, well, that brings us right on to our subject matter, really. And, just given that we will have quite a few members who aren't aware of SAP's Customer Evolution Program, it'd be great if you could start us off by explaining what it is and who it's available to.
Yeah, no, happy to. Some of the members might have heard about MOVE programs that SAP has been bringing out, and we started with a MOVE program for the in the S4 context, right? To move customers from ECC to the S4 system. We launched the S4 Move program. I think it was even back in 2017 when we did this. And then we also created similar Move programs for other, I would call it SAP legacy applications. So how to bring customers from HR Core to the new SuccessFactors applications, from SRM to Ariba, from CRM to the new C4 CX portfolio. And what we created then beginning of last year with the Customer Evolution Program is really one single program that is taking all of these individual Move programs under one single umbrella. Because the challenge we had with the individual Move programs, I'm always describing a little bit in a, you can call it in a little bit of an episode, because what happened in the past is that on Monday there was coming somebody to the customer and saying, look, I mean, you're still using ECC, so I'm owning I'm part of the ECC Move S4 Move program, and I would like to talk with you about how to move from ECC to S4. And then on Tuesday, another person from SAP was coming and saying, I'm the one who's responsible for the HR Core Move program, and you're using HR Core as well. So I would like to talk with you about how to move from HR Core to SuccessFactors. And maybe he or she then even said, and by the way, if there was somebody yesterday to talk about ECC, that's not so important. You should start with HR. And then on Thursday, a third person from SAP was coming and saying, I'm owning the SRM Move program. And as you're an SRM customer, I would like to talk with you about your way from SRM to the new Ariba portfolio. And at the end, then on Friday, I'm saying the customer was completely confused, first of all, with whom to talk, and secondly, really where to start, right? And this is why we brought all of these things together under one umbrella, because at the end, what is it that our customers would like to achieve with our software? They would like to run their business processes and hopefully run their business processes better and more intelligent than before. And this is where the engagement with our customers should start, right? So this is why we said, let's bring all of these Move programs under one umbrella, and then let's have one person reaching out to the customer and talking about business processes, talking about improvement potential that the customer sees in the way how they are running our solutions. And then based on that discussion, we can then identify what does it mean technically. Does it mean technically that an ECC to S4 move is the first step? Does it mean technically that that a move, in my example here, from HR Core to a SuccessFactors is the first step? Or does it mean technically that the SRM to Ariba move is the first step? But that's a fallout out of the process-oriented engagement that we are doing with the customer. And that, in a nutshell, is the idea of the Customer Evolution Program. So one person to talk to the customer really holistically about their use of SAP software and what to improve there, and then defining the focus areas we would like to focus on with the customer.
Thank you very much for that. So that's very, very interesting. And I suppose if I look to try and encapsulate that, is it SAP with one point of contact, very interesting thing, a contact each day for all the different Move programs. And so this is SAP working with the customer to take a more holistic view of, I suppose, the customer's landscape, but also how the customer wants to evolve in the future and how SAP can support that and help them on that journey.
Yeah. Exactly. That's really the nutshell of the program, and this is where, when we maybe dive a little bit more into the program as well, you will see that, for instance, just to ping on that already, within our program and within the engagement with the customers, we will also make heavy use of the Signavio portfolio now, right? Because the Signavio tools are giving us a framework that is exactly enabling what we were talking about, this business process oriented, holistical view of the customer processes and how they are using our software instead of just going into one solution after the other. So that is, of course, where we are then heavily using also Signavio in our engagement with the customer.
Okay, so is that SAP using that tool, or as part of the, I suppose, the engagement with the customer, do you implement Signavio into the customer to take that information?
We will use Signavio in a cloud variant, right? So that we will load data from the customer into the Signavio tool, and then we can analyze how the customer is using our solution and identify from that side already potential business process improvements and business process bottlenecks that we are seeing in the way how the customer is using our software.
Okay, so obviously just something that comes to mind, and I'm sure other customers have asked the question as well, is that Signavio also forms part of the offering with Rise with SAP and that journey. So how does the Customer Evolution Program compare to Rise with SAP?
Yeah, perfect question. And they are nicely complementing each other, because the Customer Evolution Program is a program, as the name says, and Rise with SAP is a solution offering that we are having. A solution offering that is building the basis, the fundament of the intelligent enterprise, right? Because it delivers our cloud ERP solution, S/4HANA Cloud, private or public or private. It delivers the business technology platform as a technical foundation, and it delivers elements like the Signavio portfolio, like the connection to the business networks as the process layer and the connectivity approaches on top. So as such, the Rise with SAP offering will be in many engagements that we are driving as a Customer Evolution Program, the natural one natural element that is falling out of the engagement, right? But first of all, it may not be the only one, right? Because in our engagement, we may look, for instance, at the BW of the customer as well, and identify how the move to the cloud can bring the customer to a next level in terms of enterprise data warehousing. We may look into solutions like BPC, or like, as I said, HR, core, and SRM as well, and identify how the move to SuccessFactors and Ariba will take the customer forward. So this is then what is going, so to say, a little bit above and beyond what the Rise with SAP offering is doing. And secondly, and not unimportantly, Rise with SAP is our cloud offering, right? So this is how we are taking our customers to the intelligent enterprise and to a cloud-based solution, not only for the ERP, but also, of course, for everything around. Especially when we look at the core ERP component, we still see that there are quite some customers that are saying, despite the fact that I will definitely move my HR component with SuccessFactors into the cloud, that I will use move my procurement with Ariba into the cloud because of the collaboration with the suppliers, I would like to keep some of my core ERP processes, my core finance, my core operations, I would like to keep that on premise, right? And Rise with SAP as a cloud offering is not a target solution for these customers. From a Customer Evolution Program, we are completely agnostic in terms of whether the customer would like to move to cloud completely, to a hybrid world, or to as much on-premise world as possible. And and this is also another level how we are differentiating. So one of the targets of a Customer Evolution Program engagement with a customer could be to move the customer to Rise with SAP, but it doesn't have to be. It can be also be the case that the customer on the ERP side would like to stay in a classical S4 on-premise deployment, and then of course in the LOB solutions around with Ariba, with SuccessFactors, they will anyhow move to the cloud, have to move to the cloud because they are all cloud only. But we are completely agnostic when it comes to the, so to say, the variant of the ERP system to be taken at the center of the intelligent enterprise, and that differentiates us from Rise. So to a large extent, from a Customer Evolution Program, we will, so to say, help the Rise team to drive the business forward. But in parallel to that, we will also talk to and address the customers, those customers that would like to leave their ERP, their core ERP system, in an on-premise fashion.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's good to hear, actually, because it kind of, you often hear Rise as the answer, what's the question? But that's not where we are here. We're looking at, and what I've come across quite a bit, and from SAP, especially over the past few years, is the focus more on business outcomes, on what the customer needs, and this seems to fit alongside that. So is this kind of part of that overall program of looking at what the customer wants, what business outcomes they want, and then making sure that you're advising the best path forward?
No, exactly. So this is why, as I said, we're always starting at the business process, and that should be the important element. And this is why we're also saying we are really a program dedicated for our installed base, for the existing customers, because we know that these are customers that are using sometimes since decades already our SAP portfolio to a large extent to run their business processes. And this is why we think the engagement with these customers to improve their use of our components shouldn't start technically at the components, but should really start on the business process level. Okay,
excellent. And could you take us into a bit more detail about how the program works?
In the program, we have defined an engagement methodology with our customers. We are calling the Customer Evolution Kit. And in this Customer Evolution Kit, we have defined, so to say, the steps that we would like to run through in a concrete customer engagement to come out with a result in a reasonable time, but also to make it really a tangible result, and it's more than just a, so to say, 1 hour session with the customer. So this is the idea of this Customer Evolution Kit. It is an engagement that overall takes something between 5 to 10 days with the customer. And within these 5 to 10 days, we will go with the customer through their business processes. So we will start the engagement with a business process discovery using the Signavio tools. We will start the engagement and the interaction with the customer with a outside-in point of view that we have created upfront already. So we will start with these 2 business pictures, really outside, and then the business process discovery looking into their systems. And out of these analyses, we will then derive the areas of action that we would see for that customer scenario, and then we will deep dive into these areas of actions that we have seen. We will then also, in these areas of action, define a technical roadmap that is falling out of these activities. And then, after these 5 to 10 days of engagement cycle that we need, we are handing over to the customer basically. So, of course, the analysis document, the outside-in point of view, a high-level technical roadmap, and also a high-level business case based on all information we were able to get in these 5 to 10 days already, so that the customer then can really, first of all, look at the different scenarios that are typically falling out there, and then identify with which scenario to continue in which sequence. So that's the type of engagement, standardized engagements that we are doing here. We are using, of course, tools along that, right, to analyze customer systems, things like readiness check if the customer has not done it yet, and if an ECC to S4 migration would be part of that identified activities, then of course things like a readiness check will be executed as well. We're also working closely with partners to add additional readiness check type of tools here, right? Because we think that we can gain a lot more intelligence out of the way how the customers are using our systems today, to help them, to support them, to advise them how to better use these systems, and how to move to, so to say, our next level, next generation applications in that context, right? So, and these are the tools we are then building into this engagement. And as we are driving these engagements from our side in a in a structured approach where we are saying we will always take a set of customers in a specific regions that are in a specific region that are sharing specific commonalities. So, for instance, we will start in January with utility customers in Germany or something like that. That gives us also the possibility from a customer evolution program to do a little bit of pre-work and prep work, right? So we are not, so to say, coming with empty hands in the initial meeting to the customer, but we have done some pre-study as well, based on the industry, based on the area and the segment the customer is in. And this is why we also think that within this relatively short time period of 5 to 10 days of engagement with the customer, we can really come out with a very tangible result already for the customer.
Oh, fantastic. And you mentioned there partner tools and things, and, you know, is this purely an engagement between SAP and the customer, or will there be partner involvement as well?
No, we will also involve partners. We have also used the year 2022 last year, our setup phase for customer evolution program, to really talk to all of our large SI and also the regional SI partners to make them aware of this initiative and also the tools behind it, because at the end, we know, 80% when we're looking at S4 and our ERP components, 80% of the projects are done by partners anyhow, right? So that's why we have to closely align and really have a handshake here with the partners. And we also would like to involve the partners wherever possible and wherever also okay for the customer, already in this evaluation phase that we are doing with the customer evolution kit, because the big advantage is, of course, that if the partner is, or if this is a jointly driven initiative by SAP, the partner and the customer, then of course we have the largest amount of efficiency when it comes to the project, and hopefully we are also getting the best outcome for the customer at the end, right? So that's why, yes, the partner ecosystem, the connection to the partner ecosystem, and also the active inclusion of the partner ecosystem is a fundamental element of the customer evolution program.
Okay, Alex, thank you.
Hi, we're the UK and Ireland SAP user group. Did you know we're a fiercely independent not-for-profit? Did you know we're a vibrant community of over 6,500 SAP users? And did you know we help each other by sharing resources, championing education and influencing SAP's future development? Well, you do now. If you'd like to get the most from your SAP investments and be in the know, visit our website, sapusers.org/pod. We hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast.
And so, okay, looking forward, I suppose, to the year ahead, it kicked off last year. Have there been any lessons learned so far, and ways that you're looking to maybe either change or add to the program as we go through 2023?
Yeah, when we're looking at 2023, as I said, one topic is really that we would like to scale now, right? So especially when it comes, for instance, to this customer evolution kit, we have done some pilot engagements end of last year, and here, of course, now we would like to scale. What we have also seen and learned out of the engagements that we did last year is that there are a few specific scenarios that are really making sense to look at. One scenario is coming naturally out of the way how I described the customer evolution program, and that's exactly the combination of applications, right? So we think that there's a huge opportunity for us if we are really looking at the solutions our customers are using from an SAP perspective holistically on their side, right? So, and that is a major learning that we have seen, that we can achieve a lot more if we are not only looking at the ECC, not only looking at the BW, not only looking at the SRM, but really looking at the procurement process, incorporating all of them, and then really having a holistic roadmap coming out of that. The second element that we have seen and that is driving a specific engagement for 2023 now is Especially when we are looking at the ECC to S4 move, which is of course building the center of all of our activities. As I said, I mean, we are covering all of the SAP solution portfolio, but for all of our customers, the vast majority of our customers, the ERP, the ECC component is the central component that is driving also the other elements of use of the SAP portfolio. When it comes to the ECC to S4 move, we have been investigating a lot more into details now, how our customers are really using our today's ECC systems, and also what type of customers are using, how big they are, and which industry they are, and which segments they are. And what we, for instance, have been seeing is that there's quite a huge amount of ECC systems out there still that are on very low enhancement packages, so 0 up to 5, which is resulting into the fact that these ECC systems will have an end of mainstream maintenance end of 2025 instead of the 2027 date that we announced for ECC, but that is only relevant for systems that are running on enhancement package 6, 7, and 8. And the fact that we are still seeing a reasonable amount of systems being below enhancement package 6, that is, for instance, one learning that we took out of all the engagements that we had already last year, and that is obviously driving now a specific program that we are running this year, because end of 2025 is basically 3 years or from now, if we are saying it's now really beginning of 2023. So that's not a long time anymore, and that's why that is, for instance, one of these classical learnings that we took out of the engagements last year, and that is driving a focus element for 2023 now.
Thank you. And so if we look at this from a perspective of customers' evolution and journey, so if a customer's either already on the journey or already on S4HANA, as this program looks at, I suppose, the complete landscape of SAP, is it too late for them to get involved, or is there still value that they can extract from the program?
No, very good question. And actually, it's not too late. I mean, it's never too late anyhow. But no, it's definitely not too late, because I mean, even a customer that is technically with their core ERP system on S4 already, partially or completely, even such a customer we will engage with, because with the other elements around, most likely we still have areas where we can take the customer forward, right? Be it in the data warehousing area, be it in the planning and consolidation area, or in the procurement area, right? And also what we have seen is those customers that are live with S4HANA already are not all of these customers are yet live with all of their areas on S4. Right? Because we all know, I mean, ERP processes are the most complex elements that our customers are running in their environment, right? And it is really, I mean, it's also the heart of their business at the end. So this is why naturally the moves from the classical ECC solution to the S4 solution is a stepwise approach for many of our customers. So this is why when we are looking at our S4 installed base, many of them still have some ECC systems around, and not yet everything, so to say, moved and migrated to S4. And also here, of course, as a customer evolution program, we can help these customers to really, so to say, finalize their migration, and especially also to take the right benefit out of it, right? Because with the business process centered approach, a customer that has maybe done as a very first step only a technical migration to the S4 system as a classical system conversion might now think about in a second step to really now get something out of the new S4 system, or get more out of this new S4 system than just the technical migration they did at the beginning. For those customers, the engagement we are doing as customer evolution program can be nearly equally interesting and beneficial as for a customer that is still on ECC, because such a customer is technically already on S4, but is not, so to say, process-wise on S4 already, right?
Okay. Thank you. And so, looking at that, then quite a lot included in the program. And is there a cost to the customer, or is their investment mainly time and effort from their side?
Their investment is time and effort from their side. So when I was talking about this customer evolution kit and the 5 to 10 days that we need in our engagements with the customer, that's the investment the customer has to do, right? In terms of the time and the right people to bring. And we know that this is already quite a lot, because as we are looking at the business processes, it is of course also important that on the customer side we are not only talking to the IT, right? Not to say that IT is not important, and I think these discussions are luckily over. That the role of the IT is vanishing, but it is important to as well include the business into these process discussions to really get also the right prioritization for the business challenges out of it, and so that is the investment we are asking the customers for. But other than that, it is an offering from our side that then, based on our capacity, of course, we will then channel in for the customer. So we are a team globally of roughly 250 people that can also reach out and help customers. So it's not that we are so just a handful of people. So we have some scale, but on the other hand, we are also only 250 people worldwide. So if now, after this podcast, 100 customers are reaching out to us and asking for an engagement tomorrow, we will also have a challenge there. Right?
So on that note, what should a customer do if they wanted to participate in the program or actually find out more information?
Yeah, to find out more information, you can also go to the SAP websites. You will also find some more information there. But the easiest way always is to reach out via the account manager, via the or via the partner if it is an indirect customer, via the partner to us, because as I said, we have been reaching out to all partners. We have been driving the respective enablement sessions with our sales force, so that they know whom to contact here.
Thank you. And is there anything perhaps we haven't covered in the conversation, Uwe, that you would like to get across, or is there also one major piece of advice with regards to the program that you would like to leave our listeners with?
My wish then for the customers is really think about that transformation and really make use of these offerings that SAP is having, right? Because when I'm looking at our customer base, and I'm driving in different roles the S4 story since we launched it back in 2015. Of course, there are always the early adopters, the innovators in our customer base that are jumping on the latest solution that SAP is bringing out right away, right? But those customers are amongst the more than 20,000 customers that moved to S4HANA already, and that are running it. But we are also now looking, of course, into a lot of customers that are saying, look, I'm running ECC. Fundamentally, I'm happy, right? And I'm always saying that when I'm looking at S4, especially, one of the biggest competition that we are having is not outside. It is really it's that ECC has been always a great system, and it's really doing for most of our customers what they are expecting to do to run their business, right? But if we are looking at the world outside, we also have to admit that if we compare it to the world outside 5 years back, it has changed, and it has changed quite substantially. So this is why I think think also in a modern world like today, there's also new things that are needed to be done by an ERP system. And so my wish is there at our customers really start to look at it from that angle as well, and then make use of offerings from SAP like the Customer Evolution Program to really investigate what you can do differently, what you can do better in your business compared to what you're doing today. There are a lot of additional offerings as well, right? So because, for instance, once you're moving into RISE, we have the RISE adoption framework that is helping you then to get the best out of the solution once you have implemented, right? We have our new cloud application lifecycle management solutions that are helping you technically really to operate the systems perfectly. We have our support offerings with Essential, Select, and advanced support offerings that are giving you support there as well. So there are many things that we from an SAP side are offering. Customer Evolution Program is now something new on top. And my general advice, not only for Customer Evolution Program, but also holistically for all of these offerings of SAP is really make use of it. Because I think that jointly, SAP and the customer together, and then also with the ecosystem, we can really drive all of you forward and really help you to use your software better for your business.
Uwe, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insights, and thank you for everything you've shared with us and our listeners today. And to our listeners, hope you've enjoyed the conversation and found it valuable. And don't forget, if you would like to take advantage of the program, do contact your account manager or your partner and see how you can get involved and really take advantage of the program on your evolution with SAP. So thank you very much, Uwe. And until the next time, stay safe, stay well, and keep washing your hands.